Our top story is Sam Pitroda's racist remarks today and the massive controversy now that has erupted over it. Congress Party's overseas wing head and Rahul Gandhi's advisor Sam Pitroda resigned from his post today after he put the party to spot once again with his racist remarks. In a podcast, Sam Pitroda had said that the people in the East look like Chinese, while the people on West look like Arabs. In North, they look white and South Indians like Africans. His remarks drew criticism not only from the BJP but also the India bloc leaders. Well, the Congress Party tried to douse the fire by distancing itself from Pitroda's statement. But the damage was perhaps already done. Let's take a look at this report.
Our next generation of Pitroda.
And he has done it again, quickly emerging as Congress's self-goal expert. Rahul Gandhi's advisor Sam Pitroda has sparked another controversy, embarrassing his party, this time comparing South Indians to Africans and people from the Northeast to the Chinese. No surprise, the Prime Minister and most top BJP leaders did not lose the opportunity to attack the Congress.
आज मुझे पता चला कि अमेरिका में इस शहजादे के एक अंकल रहते हैं। ये शहजादे के अंकल वो उनका फिलोसोफर एंड गाइड है। चमड़ी के रंग के आधार पर मेरे देशवासियों का अपमान कर रहे हैं। शहजादे, आपको जवाब देना पड़ेगा। चमड़ी के रंग के आधार पर मेरे देशवासियों का अपमान मेरा देश सहन नहीं करेगा।
कितनी बार हिंदुस्तानियों का अपमान करोगे? इससे बड़ा जातिवादी बयान क्या हो सकता है?
राहुल गांधी के एडवाइजर हैं। अब मैं समझ गया कि राहुल गांधी इस तरह से अनाप शनाप क्यों बोलते हैं। इस पर क्या टिप्पणी की जाए? ये हार की हताशा है। न हिंदुस्तान समझते हैं, न देश की विरासत समझते हैं। The Congress has been largely silent over the controversy, except for distancing itself from Pitroda's comments.
सैम पिट्रोडा द्वारा भारत की अनेकताओं को जो उपमाएं दी गई हैं वो बिल्कुल गलत है, दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है और अस्वीकार्य है।
Southern parties aren't amused by Pitroda's comments either.
The stereotyping of calling North Indian resembling Chinese or South Indian resembling African is totally unacceptable. Prime Minister Modi in this issue is hypocritical because when his own partyman has made similar statement in the past targeting religious minorities. Sam Pitroda is nobody to India Alliance.
I think it's high time people like Sam Pitroda are shown their awkaat, where they belong to.
In the midst of elections, Sam Pitroda's comments have come at a very unfortunate time for the Congress. With Bureau Input, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
Well, Sam Pitroda continues to draw flack over the remarks that he made, and Union Minister Kiren Rijiju, in an exclusive on NDTV, has said that Sam Pitroda's divisive thinking undermines the country. Listen in.
Mr. Rijiju, it's a sad day. It's a sad day because some very repulsive commentary has been made for our fellow countrymen. I do not know what to say to that gentleman who has made these comments. However, to you I ask, this surely is something that can be completely avoided, and a thought process that probably not even the most illiterate or not even the most people who are completely dismissive of others' identities can be discussing or should be discussing in this day and age.
See, first of all, Nikunj, I heard this statement today, and I must say that I was not surprised that such comments have come from Sam Pitroda. But it is shocking because it has come in a time when we are trying to unify our country by all sense. You know, we have to be together. We are one. India is a nation which is known as a very diverse but united country. So this statement made by Sam Pitroda is in very bad taste. In fact, it is very harmful for India's unity and integrity. Now, let me, make some very quick observation. This Sam Pitroda's remarks cannot be taken lightly because he is the mentor, philosophical guide, and he is the advisor of Mr. Rahul Gandhi.
Well, would his resignation be enough? That's the question that's arising now. We'll keep an eye on the developments on that. Meanwhile, let's shift our focus to UP now. As ahead of the fourth phase, the political temperature is soaring in UP. Union Home Minister Amit Shah, addressing a rally in Lakhimpur today, launched a scathing attack on the India bloc, saying that the India bloc will put Babri law to Ram Mandir if it comes to power. Well, the opposition Congress and Samajwadi Party also hit back, saying the BJP wants to change the constitution. Listen in.
आज मैं राम गोपाल यादव का एक स्टेटमेंट भी आपको कहना था। वो राम मंदिर को बेकार बताते। मेरी बात याद रखना, जरा भी गलती करी तो ये राम मंदिर पर बाबरी नाम का ताला लगाने का काम करेंगे। इनको मौका दे सकते? ये राहुल बाबा कहते हैं हम एक झटके में गरीबी मिटा देंगे। अरे राहुल बाबा, आपका ट्रैक रिकॉर्ड देखो। आपकी दादी ने एक झटके में आपातकाल लगाया, पिताजी ने एक झटके में ट्रिपल तलाक को फिर से इंट्रोड्यूस कर दिया, और आपकी पार्टी ने एक झटके में पिछड़ा समाज का आरक्षण छीनने का काम किया है।
ये चुनाव हमारा आपका तो है ही है, लेकिन ये चुनाव हमारे आने वाली पीढ़ी के भविष्य का भी चुनाव है। ये बीजेपी के लोग संविधान को खत्म करना चाहते हैं, लेकिन जो हमें भरोसा मिल रहा है इस चुनावी जनसभा में, जो लोग संविधान बदलना चाहते हैं उनको फरक्काबाद की जनता बदल देगी और उनकी जमानत जब्त कराने का काम करेगी।
मोदी जी के जो उम्मीदवार हैं भाजपा के, जगह जगह जाके कह रहे हैं कि हमें वोट दोगे, हम संविधान बदल देंगे। जितनी भी संस्थाएं थी जो आपको मजबूत बनाने वाली संस्थाएं थी, उनको कमजोर कर डाला है और अब संविधान को बदलने की बात कर रहे हैं। जब ये बात फैली लोगों के बीच में, इनके नेताओं ने ही कही, इनको कहलाया गया। जब ज्यादा फैलने लग गई और मोदी जी को लगा कि नुकसान हो जाएगा चुनाव में, तो वो कहने लगे कि हम संविधान बदलेंगे नहीं। लेकिन सच्चाई क्या है?
Well, ahead of the phase 4 elections, the face-off continues to intensify between the BJP and the opposition party leaders here in UP. We'll get you more on that. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Modi also held a mega roadshow in Andhra Pradesh's Vijayawada just a while back. We have latest visuals that came in. Huge crowd had gathered to attend the Prime Minister's roadshow in Andhra Pradesh. Remember, elections are due in the state on May 13. That is in the next phase. In the fourth phase, where Andhra Pradesh will see simultaneous elections for Lok Sabha as well as assembly polls. Now, the BJP, we do understand, looks to open its account in Andhra Pradesh. It could not open its account in 3 southern states in 2019, including Andhra Pradesh, Kerala, as well as Tamil Nadu, and is making all efforts to make inroads in these 3 southern states. Well, Prime Minister Modi was earlier in Telangana. Also there, he launched a sharp attack on the Congress party and specifically on Rahul Gandhi, saying that Rahul Gandhi had stopped speaking about Ambani, Adani in the poll season. And he asked, what was the deal? Was he getting any money, or what was the reason behind it? All right, well, Prime Minister Modi's roadshow has ended. We do understand. My colleague Uma Sudhir also now joins us on the broadcast, getting us more on that. Well, Uma, Prime Minister Modi's roadshow, as we witnessed, a huge crowd had gathered for his roadshow in Andhra Pradesh. This was Prime Minister Modi's second visit to Andhra Pradesh after the alliance was locked in between the TDS, BJP and the Jana Sena, and perhaps the last before the big battle on May 13.
So quite a massive roadshow that the Prime Minister had on Bandar Road in Vijayawada. Vijayawada really considered the political capital of Andhra Pradesh and really a nerve center. And yes, a 3-kilometer roadshow that went on from the Indira Gandhi Stadium to Ben Circle and flanked by Chandrababu Naidu, the Telugu Desam leader, and Pawan Kalyan, the Janasena leader. That it was a very important messaging for the people of Andhra Pradesh to say that we are together in this alliance and are going to be working together, because as you know, just about 5 years ago when Mr. Chandrababu Naidu had parted ways, subsequently relations between the BJP and the TDP have not really been in the best of colors, and the kind of cold vibes that seem to be happening between the Prime Minister and Chandrababu Naidu was not sending good signals. But this, after the public meetings that they have held, the Prime Minister had a public meeting in Rajamundry as well and in Rajampet as well. He had another meeting in Anakapalli, all that on the 6th, and then today in Rajampet, which is in the Rayalaseema region. All of that adding up to try and give momentum to the NDA alliance in the state where you're actually seeing a very fierce fight. What I must point out is that had it not been for Pawan Kalyan, it may have been quite a lame fight in Andhra Pradesh, because at that time Chandrababu Naidu, when he was on the back foot, he was in jail. At that time Pawan Kalyan had come forth and declared quite dramatically that he is going to be fighting the elections along with the TDP, even though he knew that at that time he was part of the NDA, but the BJP, but the BJP was not in fact very warm towards it. So he has made this entire thing happen, the alliance happen, and that is one reason why I would think it's become quite a neck and neck fight between the Jagan Mohan Reddy's YSRCP and the NDA alliance. Back to you.
Absolutely. He brought the alliance together, and definitely, as we see, it's a very important battle for the Janasena as well as the TDP. For the BJP, it's a prestige battle. The BJP is looking to enter Andhra Pradesh politics. Well, definitely, thank you so much, Uma, for getting us all those details there. We'll keep an eye on the developments there. Meanwhile, it's a do-or-die battle, as we do understand, for Janasena in Andhra Pradesh. Let's also now listen into this exclusive conversation with Janasena Chief Pawan Kalyan with my colleague Uma Sudhir.
You are in a sense acknowledging that yes, there may have been welfare that may have been delivered, but the chemistry is not there.
It's not that. Because you have to understand, welfare and development should go hand in hand. It's not something I just do welfare, okay. How welfare could be done? Welfare has to be done with some kind of economic prosperity. Without having any economic prosperity, how long you can take loans and keep on doing a thing? So everyone has to do welfare. Welfare is a part and parcel of humanity. It's like Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. And Sarve Jano Sukhino Bhavantu, it is very deeply ingrained in our system to do welfare. But mere welfare without any kind of development, how long one could sustain? Power is to serve people and to empower them and to make sure their fundamental rights won't be infringed. And that's what I believe. That's what power is for.
Well, how is Pawan Kalyan's party going to fare in this election? That remains to be seen. It's an alliance with the TDP and the BJP, which are already also trying their luck in these elections. We'll get you more on that. Meanwhile, some more news that we are tracking. In a setback to the ruling BJP in Haryana amid the Lok Sabha elections, 3 independent MLAs announced that they have withdrawn their support to the Nayab Singh Saini-led government in the state. The 3 MLAs, Sombir Sangwan, Randhir Golen and Dharampal Gonder, also said that they have decided to extend support to the Congress during the elections. Well, Haryana Chief Minister Nayab Singh Saini has spoken exclusively to NDTV and has said that the government in the state is stable. Listen in.
तो सर कैसे चल रहा है कैंपेन और क्या फीडबैक आ रहा है?
आपके सामने है, आप देख भी रहे हैं लोगों का जो जोश जो उत्साह है, नरेंद्र मोदी जी की जो नीतियां हैं और जो डबल इंजन सरकार ने काम किया है, लोगों को इस बात का विश्वास हुआ है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेतृत्व में ही देश आगे बढ़ सकता है और जो संकल्प नरेंद्र मोदी जी लेते हैं उस संकल्प के ऊपर देश विश्वास करता है, क्योंकि कांग्रेस के बातों के ऊपर, घोषणाओं के ऊपर आज देश का विश्वास उठ चुका है।
सर, जो हरियाणा में जो लगातार उथल पुथल चल रही है, इसको कैसे देख रहे हैं? जो 3 इंडिपेंडेंट एमएलए है वो वहां चले जाते हैं, उसके बाद लगातार कई क्यास लगाए जा रहे हैं, उसको कैसे देख रहे हैं?
देखिए, कांग्रेस की नीति रही है भ्रष्टाचार को जन्म देना, और वो झूठ बोल करके, लोगों को सजबाग दिखा करके, बरगड़ा करके वो अस्थिरता का माहौल पैदा करते हैं। पीछे भी आप लोगों ने देखा, राहुल गांधी साहब जा करके जेएनयू के अंदर जो देश के टुकड़े की बात करता है उसको समर्थन देते हैं। और आपने देखा होगा अभी पिछले दिनों राहुल गांधी बोलते हैं मंच से कि मैं एक झटके में गरीबी समाप्त कर दूंगा।
तो आपको क्या लगता है, कोई पॉलिटिकल डील हुई है? कल जो भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा के पास चले गए, क्या लगता है?
तो भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा को मालूम है, इसको पूरा प्रदेश भी जानता है, पूरा देश भी जानता है कांग्रेस के चरित्र को, कांग्रेस के जो उनके कार्यक्रम होते हैं उनको पूरा देश जानता है।
मेरा सर लास्ट सवाल है कि क्या हमारी सरकार स्टेबल है? क्या हमारी सरकार स्टेबल है? हमारे
नहीं, देखिए, अभी 10 मेरे ख्याल से 1 महीने पहले विश्वास प्रस्ताव हमने हासिल किया है। हर बार कांग्रेस पार्टी चाहे केंद्र है चाहे प्रदेश है, इनका तो एजेंडा एक ही है, विश्वास प्रस्ताव के ऊपर बात करो। ये केंद्र में भी लेकर के आए, इन्होंने अपने मुंह की खानी पड़ी। ये प्रदेश में हर बार लेकर के आए, अपने मुंह की खानी पड़ी।
तो सरकार स्टेबल है, हम कह सकते हैं?
कोई दिक्कत नहीं है।
आज हम तीनों भाई जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी की नायब श्रेणी की सरकार है, उससे अपना समर्थन वापस देते हैं।
Dramatic developments in Haryana in the middle of the Lok Sabha election after 3 independent MLAs switched from the BJP camp to the Congress side, reducing the BJP-led state government to a minority in the Haryana Assembly.
उन सरकार को तुरंत पद छोड़ देना चाहिए, इस्तीफा देना चाहिए और राष्ट्रपति शासन लागू कर देना चाहिए ताकि निष्पक्ष चुनाव हो जाए।
जनता के कहने पे, हल्के की जनता को कहने पे वापिस अपना समर्थन ले। कांग्रेस एक ऐसी पार्टी है जो गरीबों की बात सुनती है।
कांग्रेस भी शामिल होने वाले हैं कांग्रेस में?
ऐसा कुछ नहीं, समर्थन हमने वापस लिया है और बाहर से हम सपोर्ट करेंगे कांग्रेस को।
Chief Minister Saini, who took over the top post just about 2 months back, had a guarded response, but did not elaborate on how the BJP plans to counter the threat to its government.
तो पॉलिटिकल डील हुई है? कल जो भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा के पास चले गए, क्या लगता है?
तो भूपेंद्र सिंह हुड्डा को मालूम है, इसको पूरा प्रदेश भी जानता है, पूरा देश भी जानता है कांग्रेस के चरित्र को, कांग्रेस के जो उनके कार्यक्रम होते हैं उनको पूरा देश जानता है।
Haryana Speaker Gyan Chand Gupta, who may have a big role to play as the events in Haryana unfold, has ruled out a fresh test of majority.
कि अगर एक बार फ्लोर टेस्ट होता है सरकार का तो वो 6 महीने के अंदर दोबारा फ्लोर टेस्ट के अंदर उसकी हो नहीं सकता। तो ये नियमों में दिया गया है, लेकिन जो भी कोई परिस्थिति सामने आएगी वो जानकारी मिलने के पश्चात ही कोई हम निर्णय करेंगे।
A key player in Haryana could be former Deputy Chief Minister and JJP leader Dushyant Chautala, who exited the BJP-led Haryana government before the Lok Sabha polls and has said he will support any move to topple the Saini government.
नेतृत्व करने लायक नहीं कि आज वो कमजोर हो चुके, और ये कमजोरी मानने वाला मुख्यमंत्री मुझे लगता है नैतिक आधार पर प्रदेश का नेतृत्व करने लायक नहीं।
Bluster apart, now the big question in Haryana is who has the numbers? With Vijay, Rajesh Kumar, this is Group Singh China for NDTV.
Well, will the Naib Singh Saini government be able to sail through this crisis? That remains to be seen. What happens next? We'll keep an eye on the developments. Meanwhile, in some more news that we're tracking today, it was a day of chaos at the airports as several Air India Express flights were cancelled after around 300 senior cabin crew members called in sick, suddenly impacting flight operations. The Civil Aviation Ministry has sought a report from Air India Express on cancellation of flights. Let's take a look at this report.
Nearly 90 flights cancelled all of a sudden by Air India Express, a key part of the Tata Group of airlines, which also includes Air India Vistara and Air Asia India. Senior cabin crew from all stations of the airline called in sick since last night didn't turn up for work. Many switched off their phones.
Actually, I'm supposed to fly today at 8:30 to Muscat. I came here at 5 o'clock in the morning. Then I came to know it was cancelled.
With the crisis in the airline snowballing, talks are being held with the Chief Labour Commissioner, and the Ministry of Civil Aviation has told the airline to resolve the crisis as soon as possible, keeping passenger interests as top priority. NDTV has accessed hundreds of letters from cabin crew to the airline's management and a letter sent to the chairman of the Tata Group from the union representing them. The letter says there's growing unrest and dissatisfaction among employees. Several employees with impeccable records have been terminated. Air India Express employees have been offered lower job positions and essential allowances have been removed entirely. Management sources in the airline whom we've spoken to say they don't recognize the union and point out that employees need to accept the terms of a new contract post the acquisition of the airline with the Tata Group. Employees need to be accountable and are assessed for their performance. The airline is entirely transparent in conversations with workers. The big worry now, if talks between the Chief Labour Commissioner, the airline and union workers doesn't make any progress, the situation could snowball with successive flight cancellations over days. Thousands will continue to be impacted. For the Tatas, recent protests by pilots at Vistara and now this are signs that their massive foray into civil aviation comes with a series of challenges. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.